took me long enough to see the end was just a blur. And you never said a word, you just kept blaming it all on me. Well, maybe if you tried, maybe if you tried, maybe you would see it through my eyes. Yeah, maybe if you tried, maybe if you tried, maybe we'd be on the other side. I wrote to tell you what's been going on inside of me, but you'd only stop to listen if I was standing on both your feet. The water under the bridge is now flooding down the road, and I'm drowning where you float away like nothing is happening. Well, maybe if you tried, maybe if you tried, maybe we'd be on the other side. Yeah, maybe if you tried, maybe if you tried, you see what's right in front of you.
Hello.
Tomi, look at you, Tomi.
Look at you.
In all this summer glory.
I know. Can you believe it?
Where are you right now, Pam? What is this compound that you're coming from?
I'm in Sonoma in
See,
Northern California. I know, living this lush life.
I'm telling you, it's Pam Autuori's world, and we're just like stars around it, you know? Thank you for letting us be in that
I
energy.
know. Breathe in the fresh air. Let it fill you up.
I know, Tomi, and we've become such big fans lately, and just getting into your work, getting ready for this Late Bloomer, your new album coming out in August, by the way. But yeah, I was talking about this the other day, Tomi, like because you were at Bonnaroo this year, your first Bonnaroo, your
Yeah.
debut. You played Wednesday night, which is like the kickoff to the thousands of campers at the farm. Unfortunately, we missed it because we got there Thursday, super bummed. But you played what was an epic show, from what everybody said, Tomi. How was that experience like? Because you have all this anticipation from concert goers that have been waiting for like months planning. Everyone is raging, and then you come in with your incredible music, and it seemed like it was an incredible time.
It was such a fever dream. Like, I flew in, so I was on tour with KT Tunstall for about 2 weeks. Last show, like, we ended at 9 o'clock, and I got on a plane, flew to Nashville, drove down, and then ended up in this giant UFO, and was like, this is actually the craziest thing that's ever happened. There were 10,000 people, and all of them just wanted to have a good time. It was like the best. Is all positive energy. I was like, this is like actually the best kind of show to play, and everyone just wanted to hear good music and dance and laugh, and it was just like a dream, truly.
It is a special festival, right, Tomi? Because you've played all over the world, and Bonnaroo has that thing of take care of each other and kind of like the good vibe. It is like a real thing, right?
Oh yeah, it's so different from other crowds. Like, I feel like it's so positive. Like, everyone's just lifting each other up. Everyone wants you to succeed. Everyone just wants it to be like a fun show for the performer, for the audience. It's really like, it's the most positive experience I think I've ever had in front of a
I
crowd.
agree. There's no judgment, body.
You went. You were there.
Yeah, but I missed the best show on Wednesday night. So it's like, was I? It's like, okay, like fine. I was there with like Sheryl Crow, but I missed Tomi. So can I get a redo? Oh God.
Joe Pro, pretty good. Pretty good.
Seriously. And you mentioned KT Tunstall, Tomi. You've been playing all around with her. Last year you opened for the War on Drugs. Basically, you are like what we call here in Nashville a musician's musician, Tomi, which is like a great compliment. I think you're that good. But it's gonna be so fun, Tomi, to be on the bill with artists like Katie, like the War on Drugs, that push the envelope visually, sonically, just like in every way, right? Like that's gonna be like, as an artist, such an inspiring thing.
It's really inspiring to watch performers of that caliber do their thing, and they're so confident in what they do. It's like like the music that these artists make is so a part of them and their soul that it shows that it's not anything that they're trying to do. It's just who they are, and I feel like
Right.
that's really nice. It's just inspiring to be around.
Yeah, and that comes across, right? Like when it's authentic.
Yes. totally. You don't want to go and see somebody trying to be someone else. It's just like, it's like even just talking to somebody, you can feel that kind of energy shift. And I think with performers like that, it's like they've been doing it for so long. It's like they're breathing.
You know, Tommy, and that's actually one thing. I'm glad you mentioned that authenticity, because that is something that kind of like jumps out in your life. You know, a lot of people don't know this about you, but you know, your career at one point, you got a major deal signed. And you know, you kind of like pushed it back because they weren't kind of allowing you to be that authentic, right? Is that what happened?
Absolutely. Yeah. It felt like I really wanted, I learned how to produce before I even knew what I was doing. Like I was just making my own music and recording it. And I did that at a really young age. So when I signed this record deal, I signed it with demos. Like 80% of the demos I had produced myself and had like written and done the whole thing. And basically what happened was, going into a major label system like that, they just want it to be as good as it can possibly be. So in doing so made me kind of question, am I like, can I do this? Because if they don't want to use the music that I've made, like what am I doing here? And it definitely like made me second guess myself for a second, and became a little bit more, oh, like I'm just going to be like a yes man and be like, yes, okay, I'll do what you say and see if it works. But honestly, it was such a huge learning experience. And like with writing and working with so many different people, I picked up so many new skills. So in the end, it was actually great.
It was like a double win.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at you, Tommy,
I
scheming
don't know.
stuff. But I respect that so much, Tommy, because one of my dearest friends here in Nashville, Maggie Rose, at one point, she had a major deal signed just like you. And, you know, they wanted to make her like a country kind of pop starlet. And that's not who she is. She's kind of like jam band. And that's what she's doing now. But guy, I would think that if I was a musician, Tommy, and anybody offered me, you know, and, you know, I was struggling a deal, I would just grab the recording contract and say, fuck it. Like, courageous thing from you, Tommy, you know?
Yeah, it was interesting to go through it and just be like, okay, this is how it works. This is the engine. This is how the music industry is in this capacity. And then take that and be like, okay, how do I want to do it? What do I like about it? What don't I like about it? And how do I do it in my own way, independently from all of that? Because you can do it. I have a lot of friends that are successful and independent musicians.
Yeah.
And they're able to just get on stage, have their fans, like release the music they want to release when they want to release it. It's just like, it's a freedom, you know?
You know, and Tommy, being an independent musician now, like it's in some ways, it's kind of more appealing, right? In some ways, maybe you don't have like the financial backing, like of a label, but God, it's got to be so freeing in so many other ways.
Yeah, and because you don't have that financial backing, you have to get so creative. Like all of the music videos I make, I do with my partner, and we just have like really funny ideas and just figure out how can we bring this to life with no budget and just like get people on board, see who wants to help, and like just have a fun day. And it's really been so special creating that kind of community.
I mean, and that's what you did with Late Bloomer, by the way. You know, the first single, If I Tried. Oh my God, sweet mother of cargo pants, Tommy. Like that video, if MTV was still a thing, like you would be like winning moonwalks and those trophies left and right, you know, because oh my God, what a video. I mean, the song is for my audience. The song is about like communicating like with your lover when the things kind of break a breaking point and that kind of thing. But God, the video, there's a mannequin involved. You know, it is just visually beautiful. And even the behind the scenes is great. But how did the idea to this particular video come about? Like, were you tripping? Like, how did that happen?
So my partner is, she has a vintage clothing archive. Okay. So she has like mannequins all over the place. And I was floating in this sound bath in LA, which was my first time doing. I was super anxious. I was just like in a deprivation tank in total darkness. And somebody told me once that when you go to those places and you have a creative brain, that you will start visualizing things. So I was really anxious. So I was kind of like, okay, let me think. I need to think of a music video. Like that song needs to come out soon. And all of a sudden I started seeing the mannequins. I was like, oh my God, what if I date a mannequin? Because that's how it feels when you can't communicate with someone. And so that was exactly what it was. I went home and wrote the whole thing, and it was just like a blast.
Tell me a little bit about this sound bath thing, because you're like the third person that's told me about it in the month. So it's like, it's
really?
Yeah. So like, how long is it? Like, do you panic? Like, how does it work?
Okay. Yes. Panic. if you're anxious, like I'm an anxious human, so I'm like, yeah, I panicked. But I also was like, didn't know what to expect. So you go and you shower, and then you go into totally naked. You go into this little room in darkness.
A little, like
Like
a,
you
like a
could
tent?
like a little bit bigger than a tent, more like
Okay.
I think 2 or 3 people could like lay side by side, maybe two.
Like a New York apartment.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, like my first apartment. Exactly. I felt right at home.
Uh-huh.
And then it goes, the music you can either have or you can have it in silence. I chose to have 15 minutes of music and then the rest of the time in silence. My time was about an hour. And you just lay down in a saltwater bath, earplugs in, all the lights go out dim, and it feels like totally black. And it feels like you're floating through space because you're just floating in the water. So you don't touch any walls. There's like nothing. You just feel like you're in nothingness. It's really, really trippy.
Does it feel like more than an hour or like less?
It feels at first, that was part of my panic is I was like, I'm going to be in here for an hour. Like, I'm going to like drown in here. This is scary.
Right.
But after the first 15 minutes, you just kind of like get into a really intense rhythm. You let your thoughts slow down. It's just a nice place to be. I think it goes by fast.
I love it. Tomi, let me ask you one question about your childhood, because I mean, your dad played guitar. He's the one that taught you. I mean, you've talked about it plenty, but I love that you knew from such an early age that like that you're like, this is what I want to do. This is what makes me feel alive. Like, was there a moment, like I'll give you an example. For me, it was a Metallica concert when I was like 9 that I was like, well, fuck it. This is it. Like, I can't go back to fucking action figures, you know? Was there something like that for you? Where like something you saw on TV or something where you were like, I'm going to New York as soon as I can get a car, I'm out.
I think it was the writing process. I felt like this sense of honesty, like I could access this truth within myself that I just couldn't say out loud. Like I just could never really say how I felt. I grew up in a big family, a big Italian family, so it was a lot of talking over each other, and I was and still am, can be a very quiet person, and so like having music to kind of like connect with myself and then eventually play it for my sisters, and they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. It was like this validation that I really needed, and it made me feel like deeply, deeply like on their level. Like I could like they were seeing me and I was seeing them. And it was just like it was a feeling that I always get every time I play. Nice. So it's a feeling, I feel like you chase that.
Yeah. I was talking about that with someone recently. Like it's enough almost to get over the 8-hour drives, the gas station parking, like, you know, here's the voucher for your meal backstage, whatever they feed you, because you get that high once in a while, right? Like that thing.
Yeah, and it's like you never know what you're gonna get. Like every show is just gonna be complete chaos. Like you don't know what's gonna happen. Something will go wrong, something will go right. Like it's all it's so alive. Like it's just like the most beautiful experience.
What's that feeling like though? Like Tomi, like when you step in the Troubadour, I'm not an artist, but like when you're in West Hollywood, that famous marquee has your name on it, it's sold out, and you're walking up those stairs and the spotlight is on you. Like, what is that feeling like?
That feeling is like, I'm going to throw up. I get so nervous. But once you're there and you realize that the audience is on your side and they want you to succeed and they want your show to be good, then it's like, okay, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Oh my God, Tomi. Well, you have so much going on. You're in Sonoma. You don't want to talk to me in July. Let me leave you with this. You know, we saw you co-wrote and produced a song with one of our dearest friends here, Bree Kennedy.
Yes, I love Bree.
I have to ask you about that because I know she's gonna love hearing from you, and we love Bree, and it makes sense that you're so beloved. You're cool as shit. So tell us a little bit about how that was like. You kind of co-creating with Bree.
She is such a freaking talented gem of a human. As soon as we walked into the room, it was like BFF. We just started talking about life, talking about just that like push and pull of wanting things and needing to wait. And we were both really on the same page. I mean, that was probably like pandemic time. So it was like really like an intense emotional time. And
for her, it was like a lot. I know.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I remember that like that song. First of all, like one of my favorite songs that I've ever co-written ever because it's so like real. The lyrics are so real and intense, and then this melody that she was just riffing on guitar, and I was like, okay, we got to record that right now. Like this girl like picks up a guitar and a song is born. It's like absurd. So she like really, I mean, she really just like went into her soul, and we just, I honestly think like everyone in the room was just like, okay, like let's like try to just capture what's happening because she's so talented and like she knows what's up. Bring Kennedy out of here.
Well, Tomi, you've said it all for today. I mean, what a delight. Late bloomer. We can't wait for the album in August. Comes out real soon. But thank you for your time. I mean, Sonoma, go enjoy it. And thanks for your great vibes and your great art. Like you make the game better. So come to Nashville soon.
I absolutely will. Nice to meet you.
Bye, Tomi.
Bye.